In every generation, two Prose are born. Chosen to watch every episode of Buffy and tell you what they think about them. This is the Prose Visit Sunnydale. Season 2.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Prose Bros Visit Sunnydale. I am Eddie Cruz.
I'm Geoff.
And today we have two special guests. We have Lluvia and Jenn joining the show.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Howdy.
How you guys doing today?
Just fine.
What do you guys have for breakfast? Just kidding.
Nobody eats breakfast here. Nobody.
Today we're going to be covering the season finale, the pinnacle, if you will, of season 2, Becoming Part 2.
Yeah, episode 22.
Arguably one of the best episodes of the series.
I agree.
Yeah. After seeing part 1, I wasn't really on that boat, but then part 2 hit it hard, man.
Even with your boy Whistler?
Even with my boy Whistler. I gotta say that in this episode, Whistler's acting wasn't, like, it didn't fit in the episode. He was really forced in there, man.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why.
It's basically to explain a bunch of bullshit to
I kind of
Buffy.
feel like he was somebody's friend.
Someone's nephew.
Yeah. He's like, the guy that wrote the song for
his last name
intro.
before he changed it was Whedon.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's actually Josh Whedon,
yes.
the guy that we referenced earlier in our podcast.
They're twins.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think about this episode? Lluvia, what do you think about this episode?
Yeah, it was probably one of my favorite ones. Super emotional and pretty beautiful.
It was pretty good, right? I got a little teary-eyed at the end. I mean, I was laughing, and then I was like, oh, wait, this is emotional. But
It was like equal parts.
equal parts sad and very, very, very funny.
What'd you think, Jen?
I kind of thought it definitely like raised a bunch of new questions, and like a lot of the characters were kind of drifted off to new adventures. Like towards the end, so we're like, "Whoa, like what's everybody doing now?" But I thought it was a very well written episode.
Well, let's get into the episode. What happened this episode, Jeffrey?
So this episode picks up right after the last one with that scene in the library where there is a gun drawn on Buffy.
Yeah, man. Buffy's in trouble.
Yeah. And the cops all think that Buffy is the reason there's like these bodies all in the library.
Obviously, right? I mean, they come in and she's standing over one of the bodies, right? Probably holding a weapon.
Which, who called the cops?
Yeah, where did the cops show up this one time?
It was the principal.
Oh, did he say that?
Oh.
I just think it was him.
This is just, she's writing a better episode right now.
See, I assume it might be because he was there just randomly.
Yeah, that would make sense. That's the only thing I could really think of that could have happened.
And right after that, he shows up and he's all like, I know if there's trouble involved, it's you, Summers, and blah,
Yeah,
blah,
basically
blah.
being
You do
Snyder.
a better a Snyder accent than
He's like,
the
you
impression.
stupid bitch. I knew it was you. I knew it was you the whole time.
So
I called the cops, you bitch.
Yeah. So there's that scene. Buffy gets, she's getting arrested, and then she assaults a cop, and then runs away while another female officer tries to shoot her, which I'm not sure if that is illegal or not.
It was very ridiculous for her to, number one, shoot the only person that's a witness to what happened. They don't know what's going on. There's people standing in the way, and they're inside of a school.
Yeah.
All of these things say, like, scream, don't shoot. I mean, they know who she is, right? They have the principal right there being like, that's Buffy Summers, and we know where she lives. We know everything about this girl because she goes to school here. So it's ridiculous for her to be shooting at her.
Do you think it was something like, oh, this is our chance to kill her, let's have the cops kill her and just end it?
That would make this a super depressing episode.
So next we see Buffy go to the hospital where she's checking in on the rest of the Scoobies who are all super battle damaged. Xander has a broken arm. Willow has head trauma
I
of
guess,
some sort.
yeah,
She's in a coma.
It's really unfortunate that she was in the encyclopedia aisle when that bookshelf fell on her.
That's right. I forgot that the entire bookshelf
shelf fell on her.
and some of the heavy books hit her in the head.
She had just been in like the fiction section. She would have been fine. Just paper cuts.
Yeah.
So many people. Almost worse. Yeah. I'd
Oh my
rather
god!
be in a coma. Yeah.
Inside of her fingernails. Oh, this sounds horrible.
That would have been a cool shot. Just Willow, just full of paper cuts.
And Xander just still makes that same speech he does to her.
So the Scoobies are all there and trying to figure out what the fuck happened and if everybody's okay. And Cordy said, I just start running and kept going, and I didn't even realize someone was chasing me. And that's when they realized, holy shit, where is Giles? And Giles is stuck at the mansion, which, have we talked about where this mansion came from?
No, not at all, man.
There was a lair that Drusilla, Spike, and Angel had, and it looked like a warehouse. And now, I thought they were in the museum still, but apparently they're in this mansion.
It's a fucking huge mansion. Like, it's gigantic, and it has, like, Gothic architecture. It's the same thing as in, I don't want to bring up the future, but the same thing as in season 6, where they start with Dracula, and you're like, where the fuck did this mansion come from? And they're just like, it was always there.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It might have been that mansion. Who knows?
It makes sense in Sunnydale that stuff just appears, because it's
there's
massive.
a fucking Hellmouth there. Did we talk about how Buffy got away from the cops?
She just ran away.
No, she fucking punched one in the face.
Yeah, she assaulted one and ran away.
Yeah, season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer should have resembled more like of making a murder kind of thing, right? Like, essentially, that whole season should have been her on trial.
I guess that would have been a super cool season to watch.
Yeah, it would have been amazing, especially with this whole trip going on with, like, true crime stories right now. They could have made a killing. They had just waited 10 years and put that out.
Well, like 20 years, right?
20 years.
Yeah.
That made me feel old.
Yeah.
I kind of liked how right after Buffy beat the crap out of that male cop, the next scene, she's wearing like a beanie and like a leather jacket. She's all thugged out. Usually she's like super cute and fashionable.
Yeah.
She's incognito for sure.
It's almost like she dressed the role of being
On the run.
Yeah, on the run or a vigilante kind of thing. She's like, I'm going to wear a black hoodie because that shows that I'm struggling right now.
So I finally get to wear this outfit. Yeah. I've been waiting years.
Dying. And the black mascara. This is awesome.
She gets a tattoo.
Yeah, so they're all wondering where the fuck is Giles, and Giles is being tortured by Angel, who is wearing... how can we all describe Angel's outfit?
Same thing that David Copperfield wears every night in Vegas.
So is it leather? Is it velvet?
A poofy silk shirt, a poofy black silk shirt,
And leather pants.
But they're a certain type of leather. They're not just like black straight leather. They're like faded.
It's like distressed leather.
Distressed leather. There we go.
Damn, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, that leather had daddy issues growing up. It was molested by its uncle.
Oh, God.
That says leather daddy.
Leather daddy, leather.
So yeah, Angel is basically there and saying like, I need you to tell me how to unleash hell on earth, but if not, I'm still going to have fun torturing you.
Yeah, basically he knows that Giles will be the only guy that knows how to release the Kafla, right? The Kafla? Am I saying that right?
A Kothla?
A Kafla? See, I heard the A in front of it, but then I wrote it down with just a K.
Like you're saying Kakothla?
No, I was saying Kafla.
Kothla.
Like, like a weird A in front of it, like maybe somebody just added that? I don't know. It just seems like a Kafla. A Kafla?
A Kothla.
A Kafla. Like a sandwich. Like a soda. A Kafla.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there an F in there? I feel like you're putting an F in there.
There's no F in there?
No.
Kafla?
Koth.
Kafla.
TH.
Oh,
a Kafla.
like goth.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that.
Can I say something? Fuck this name. They should have written it down and been like, "This is how you spell it."
Well, they did, and I looked that up, So
Oh.
that's why
I didn't look it up.
because I was like, how do you say this? Because we're going to be saying it a lot,
Kothla.
apparently.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah. So where are we?
A Kothla.
A Kothla. Yeah.
How basically Giles can explain to Angel how to open up the portal and suck Earth into hell through a Kothla.
Cool. So after that, Buffy is looking for Giles at his place, and she runs into Whistler, which gives a very cryptic explanation of what the fuck is going
beat the shit
on.
out of this guy that's just broke into Giles's house. Like, dressed like a douchebag. Like, he deserves to be on Jersey Shore, like, season 2.
Not as worse. It's not as bad as what Angel's wearing.
That's true. That is true.
She should have killed him for that joke about taking her to prom.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty bad. And the accent's horrible.
I thought it was funny, though.
I don't know. I had such fond memories of Whistler, and now, like, seeing him, I'm like, God, he's awful. Like, I understand why they completely just rewrote the character.
I think that's been happening a lot, where stuff we remember is fucking amazing. We go back and it's like, this isn't so amazing.
Except for Xander's body. Dude, in Go Fish, Xander had a dope body. And I remembered it that way, and it's still that way.
Maybe we should have had some more girls on for that episode, because you're the only one.
Do you remember that episode?
No.
When Xander's all like just naked poo?
Is it when he's already doing construction?
No, he's joined the swim team.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh man, maybe I can get a picture of it real quick.
It's okay. It's an okay episode.
It's an okay episode, but his body's go fresh.
Is that what the episode's called?
It's called Go Fish.
Oh, he's go fresh.
Are we waiting for you to pull up this picture of Xander's body?
I don't know about waiting. You guys can continue on.
Would you say that it's Ryan Reynolds-esque?
No.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Are you
Calm
going to be
down.
underwhelmed?
Probably underwhelmed. Oh no, there's not very good pictures.
He
here.
has a good-looking body for a dude who's supposed to be like in high school.
That crotch shot?
Yeah, it's a crotch shot. That's what I'm telling you. It's like
Is the crotch shot the reason why you think he has a good body?
I
that's
think
all
so.
it's here. There's a crotch shot and like a boob shot.
It's like parts like never loaded.
Yeah, like see.
Oh, wow, that's really creepy.
Wow.
Crotch shot.
Whistler is there and being extremely cryptic, which I find
It's kind of his thing.
it's strange. I don't know if it's cool or not, but the whole like Buffy statement, like, "Oh, are you here to fix the balance between good and evil?" I feel like they're setting up the entire show of Angel.
I'm not sure if they were trying to set it up here per se, and maybe they weren't going to bring back Angel for one more season. You think maybe that they were just going to bring him back into his own show? And they just decided to keep him for one more season while they built up the show or something? Because it feels like it's too early to do that.
I don't know. I just don't understand why Whistler comes back and starts explaining shit to Buffy for no reason that I can understand.
It feels really out of place. It feels almost like an end cap to his narration. You know what I mean? It seems cryptic, number one, and it doesn't really need to be there.
Yeah, unnecessary. They could have done more with it, and I felt maybe they wanted to, but then they're all, nah, fuck this. Mm-hmm. So, who knows?
Not sure. What do you think about the Whistler character?
I don't mind him. I think he's a little annoying. I don't like just the like having people on the edge, like trying to tell them something but not really.
Yeah, just
that
kinda
personally
there.
just frustrates me.
There you go.
He's okay. He's short. I don't know. Wait.
He's short. There we go.
We don't like short people on this podcast.
Oh no, I'm 4'11".
Oh, damn.
No short men. Short women are fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no women above 5'2" will be allowed on the podcast.
And no scrubs. Can't get no love from me.
Right after that, Buffy leaves Giles' apartment, runs into the police, right, trying to arrest her again at the playground.
Yeah, another cop finds her. She knocks out another cop.
Yeah, several. So Spike actually, I wouldn't say saves her, but he intervenes because she could save herself. And basically says that a line I love, because she asks him, why do you want to help me? He says his whole plan, I want to help you. Fuck Angel. So why would you want to do that? Don't you want to destroy the world? And I love that line that basically destroying the world is all tough guy talk. When it comes down to it, nobody really wants to do it. we all like this world, which I thought was fucking awesome, particularly coming from Spike.
It was really, really cool, and it also gives you that whole demon kind of feel to it. Like, I don't want to bring in Supernatural because it feels like almost like a love child of this show. That whole idea of the angels and demons have their own motives, and they're not all just about pure evil or pure good. They live somewhere in between, and Spike is a really good example of, a demon that's very, very humanized.
Yeah, he has some amount of humanity, and he's not all about, let's destroy the world. He just wants to be himself and do what he wants, which is fucking awesome. And I think that's why a lot of people like Spike even early on.
Yeah.
Particularly compared to Angel.
I like Drusilla the best because I feel like she does whatever she wants no matter what all the time.
Oh, she definitely does. Like, Spike kind of caters to Drusilla. And there's that line when they're talking about Drusilla right now at the playground, which I loved. Spike is saying, like, well, me and Drusilla, we have to leave. And what was it, basically her calling Drusilla hoe?
Just because your like girl's been hoeing around or something is like, so it was just out of place for Buffy.
It was, but hilariously out of place.
Just because your girlfriend's a big hoe doesn't mean I have to help you or something like that, which is awesome. Can we talk about their relationship real quick? What do you think about Drusilla and Spike's relationship at this point? Because I kind of feel like they have a strained relationship due to the fact that she was sick and now he's sick.
I mean, Spike's not sick anymore, but you're just referring to, I guess, the dynamic of, like, at first he was there to take care of her, and now she's there to take care of him, and she's not really doing so.
I kind of feel like she doesn't like Spike because he coddled her so much when she was sick, and now he's sick. So, like, she first of all had to put up with him treating her like an invalid, and then once she got better, she had to start taking care of him. At this point, she just probably, like, resents him the way, like, a guy with cancer resents his wife after 20 years of dealing with something. Kind of like displaced anger.
I definitely feel like that's right. Like, I feel like she kind of feels like she owes him to feign some interest in him or, like, take care of him. You can definitely tell that he's always been the one that's had a greater love in the relationship between both of them.
Yeah, I definitely think so. He seems, and this is up for debate, but Drusilla, for me, feels way more evil than Spike.
Yeah.
Spike feels like he has some sort of heart or humanity or not soul, but something like that. Like, he cares. And Drusilla seems like she could care less, even about him.
I think she more sucks up whatever energy's around her the most. Like, when she's just around Spike and he's giving her an unadulterated love, she becomes more lovey-dovey. And then when she's around Angel, she becomes more evil. When she's around Drusilla later, or not Drusilla, around Darla later, she becomes more evil. Kind of like, fitting whatever coat is around her.
I think you can tell that, like, in the scene where Drusilla's trying to get information out of Giles. She's totally caught up in that moment, and everybody realizes that, and she just, like, kind of feeds off of it, and that's how she works.
Yeah, I think she's kind of childlike too, you know. And that's why she almost, like, just doesn't care. Like,
she's, like, evil in the way, like, a small child is evil that doesn't know any better. I'm going to punch this other child because I don't understand repercussions, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Sometimes those kids are just straight up evil.
yeah.
So Buffy is walking back to her house with Spike, and Joyce Summers pulls up. And who knows where Joyce Summers was? Maybe at her work, but she pulls up randomly, and she's concerned about Buffy and the police and everything that's going on right now. They come up with some stupid lie about them being in a band, which is also fucking hilarious. It doesn't come across well at all. Spike doesn't pull it off. So a vampire jumps out, and Buffy, in full, I was going to say in full makeup, but realistically in full makeup. You can see it's a vampire, and Buffy stakes it and kills it.
Right in front of her mom.
Yes.
Right in front of Joyce. She's just like talking to her mom. Hey, we're in a band. Vampire attacks, kills the vampire, and we get the most understated comment of the series, like Lluvia said earlier.
So underwhelmed by that she's a slayer. She's like, oh, God, great.
She just go back to Joyce and she's like, Buffy, what is going on when you just saw a guy get eviscerated in front of you.
Which is like a major deal. The first time she has, I guess she might have an inkling of what's going on, but the first time she really sees it, it's right in front of her, and she's all like, OMG, guys.
Yeah, it actually led into my favorite kind of relationship of this season and the next few seasons, which is Spike and Joyce sitting on the couch. It's what makes me like Spike the most right off the bat is the way he converses with her, because he's so nonchalant but at the same time respectful.
Yeah, he knows to be
Yeah,
cool, you know?
he's like, hey, it's her mom.
But it's weird. He's being honest.
Yeah.
He's not trying to like go along with the charade.
Yeah, she's
and
like,
say,
don't
like,
I know
cover.
you? And he's like, yeah, you tried to hit me with or kill me with an axe once. Yeah, you were like, get away from my daughter.
But is that him being cool with Buffy and Joyce, or him just being like, oh yeah, that's where we know each
Well,
other?
yeah, he's being honest, but he's not being honest the way he would be in front of a pack of vampires or in front of Buffy or in front of Drusilla. He's being honest in a different way that we've seen him the entire time.
Like, I don't know, you think like a softer kind of nice, or what do you
Yeah,
mean?
I don't know. It's like he's got girlfriend voice on.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like first date, meet the parents, like kind of nice. Like,
Yeah,
but
it really
vampire
does.
style.
Yeah, vampire style, where he's still being himself, but it's toned down.
Which is weird, because did Joyce and Angel ever have something like that, or any sort of connection that we've seen this season?
The only thing we've seen from him is him like going up to her and lying about what's going on, about being heartbroken because Buffy left him or whatever.
So Buffy brings home Angel, and he's like the college tutor, and they're lying, and we see Spike as kind of like another potential suitor. Not right now, but
I mean,
another
her mom,
guy that
might as
Buffy's
well be.
bringing home. And he's like super honest and charming, I guess.
yeah,
It's a weird
in
dynamic.
his own way.
Yeah, so they have that interaction, and Spike leaves at some point. Buffy and Joyce, at first it's really weird how they start arguing. Joyce seems way too calm about learning that Buffy is a Slayer. What does that mean? She keeps saying stuff like, well, why don't you just stop being a Slayer?
It's almost like the denial thing, right?
Yeah.
She's in denial.
It's almost like she thinks it's a job that she chose, which she doesn't realize if she's ever listened to the intro, she was chosen. So she should listen to the intro of her own show. She starts off super casual and then gets angry, I think out of nowhere.
I thought so too. I was like, it's too much all at once. If it were like this like throughout the whole time that she realized. But yeah, it's totally like mom, teenager dynamic.
I don't know if it's too taboo to say, but I kind of felt it was a coming out kind of a conversation. Why don't you just try to not be gay? Why don't you just try not to be a Slayer?
Yeah, it seems like that's the parallel they're making there for sure.
And I think a lot of us thought that maybe Joyce was just like drinking a little too much and maybe just like randomly.
I didn't think that until she threw her drink across the room.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
I was like, all right, she's been drinking a lot. And that's probably just straight vodka.
Buffy had even said like, pour
It's
yourself
water.
another one, which is super fucked up.
Oh, I
Yeah,
totally
that's really
missed that.
fucked up. Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
like, why don't you pour yourself another one, Mom?
It's like, damn.
She didn't say it like that, though.
She kind of did.
Kind of. Not as fucked up.
And then Joyce is like, don't ever come back here.
Yeah, and Joyce makes a mistake of being like, never, if you go through that door, young lady, you never come back. Like, don't ever say that to your kid.
Well, she just,
Especially in their teens, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
16.
she did just kind of shove her.
Oh yeah, she pushed
Oh,
her.
yeah.
That was pretty crazy, actually.
That whole scene was insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
She could have killed her.
Well, no, like with a shove, she's not Ted.
She's the Slayer, though.
Exactly.
Huh?
That inconsistent Slayer strength. Maybe
Yeah, it
you're
just
right.
comes in, just,
Maybe you're right.
just punches through her chest. Whoops.
Yeah. So right after that, we see Willow, and she's awake, right?
Well, kind of. We go back to Willow, and she's in a coma, and Xander is in the room with her, and he starts professing his friendship and feelings for her. So after kind of saying I love you, but do you guys think that was a real I love you or a friend I love you?
I think it was a friend I love you. For
Yeah, it was
sure.
like a friend I love you. It wasn't like an I love you, even though it's kind of awkward when she wakes up and says Oz's name. I don't
Yeah.
really think that it was a true like I love you. But she wakes up to that I love you, and Oz conveniently walks in at the same time.
Yeah, like, where was he the whole time? He was just like, I'm right here.
He was just waiting for her to say Oz.
Oh, there we go.
He's
Like,
just standing right behind Xander.
Like Tony Wonder in Arrested Development.
Here I am. So Oz comes in and takes over boyfriend duties.
I think they meant that scene to be a lot more amazing than it actually turned out to be.
It was okay.
I feel like it was supposed to be like, oh, like Xander professing his love, and it didn't come across that way.
I don't know if it was supposed to be that.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
I really
It
don't
just-
think so.
But then why would they have
'Cause-
her like say like Oz?
That's true.
Like,
I agree. Like, that's a whole... I think that was just a way of getting Xander to become man number 2 in her life. Kind of switch him out of the Willow is in love with kind of mindset into, okay, she's moved on from Xander finally.
And she really does, right?
I mean, in the sense that she becomes a lesbian.
so in the hospital, Willow comes up with a plan to, well, she has a plan, but she is awake and now she's going to restore Angel's soul. Right after that, in the mansion scene, we have Angel, who's still torturing Giles, or trying to torture Giles to get the information he needs to end the world. Spike stops him.
So Spike just comes into the room and essentially kind of wags the dog, right? You don't see what Angel's doing, but at the end of the episode you see like maybe Giles has some broken fingers, so you can assume that he's breaking his fingers.
Yeah.
Does he have? I know by the end he has his fingers broken.
Yeah,
but,
well,
like,
I
where
mean,
did
there's
that, like-
nothing else. I mean, he has an open shirt. What is he doing? Like, I'm gonna unbutton your shirt all the way down. You know?
Burning
Like,
him.
I thought Angel was supposed to be a badass, though. Like, he's just gonna break some fingers and, like, rip some buttons off of your shirt. And then
Yeah, but I don't think you can fuck with Giles too much.
I feel
the,
like-
the whole thing is like if you end up maiming Giles or like, you know, sending his dick to his dad or something, you're not going to end up with the same show.
Yeah. That's I feel
Game
like
of Thrones reference.
yeah.
that's, I got that. Great joys. I feel like Angel is almost like all talk. Like the legend of Angelus is way bigger than.
Would you
than
say
Angel.
that like maybe
That is-
using the Cothala is kind of a wussy's way out of like winning? It's it's like the cheat code of winning for him, because I mean really he wants to like really hurt Buffy, but he's like, I can't really hurt her because she's stronger than me, so I'll just end the world and default win.
Yeah.
All he has to do is pull out the stupid sword.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pussy move.
Yeah, it is, and I think like he's maybe it's part like Giles has all these books, right, where it's written about Angelus and he's such a badass, and now he's like in modern times and he's like, holy shit, like maybe back in the day I was badass, but everybody else is like so much cooler now, and like I'm fucking shit up. I gotta
So, have
step
you
up my
ever heard
game.
of H.H. Holmes, dude? Like you are not a tough guy.
Just
Yeah.
look at that shirt, dude.
Yeah, maybe that was the reason for his choice in outfit. He was like, what are the kids wearing these days when they torture
Yeah.
people?
The kids? What kids is he following?
Prince?
That like he's following a young prince in 1998.
Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah, David Copperfield. He's in Vegas just following
Definitely.
magicians.
I like when a Spike pulls up on his wheelchair. What do you call him? Like spin and go? It's like, what's up?
What's up, Spin and Go? He has the best
Zingers.
names for
Yeah.
Spike.
And his
You're gonna be
delivery
hell
on
on
that is
wheels.
it's pretty awesome.
I like him more than Good Angel for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a better character. Good Angel's good when he mopes so much that they don't talk to him, where he's just like staring off in a chair.
Yeah.
That's where he does well.
Yeah.
But I think Bad Angel really, really does well all the way through.
You know, I don't think I really like Angel at all. Well, Good Angel in Buffy.
No.
In Angel, I enjoy
because they
his
kind of
acting.
rounded out the character, and they cut down the smirking and the kind of
I think
whiny moments.
It gave Angel better lines. Like, Angel had better one-liners to come back with, like Cordelia, or to come back with anybody else in the series. And in this one, he's kind of just like a mopey little crybaby.
Well, he can't be the star of the show. Buffy is the star of the show. So he can't, I feel like he can't have better one-liners than Buffy or Xander. They can't be quippier unless he's evil, and then it's okay, apparently.
But I also feel like when I was watching this episode and, thought about how much Buffy loved Angel, I was like, why does Buffy love Angel so much?
Oh,
That's something I've always said.
This is a question for the fucking ages. Nobody knows. So
It's like Romeo and Juliet all over again.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
he's a 241-year-old vampire who is like emotionally stunted.
I would assume so.
And,
I mean, he's a stalker. He's a bad dresser. She only really like hangs out with him a couple times, and he acts like a complete douchebag. No, I can see why she likes him.
See, but
Same, actually.
She's a 16-year-old girl.
I can,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. We can see she's 16, starts the show at 15, right? We
It's
can
like, might
see,
as well be a DJ.
yeah. Honestly, we can see,
Sorry.
we can see why she is into him, and
Yeah.
she's young. Her first love, doesn't know any better. What's Angel's excuse? So Buffy goes to the library to get her shit. She gets a bag of shit, and then Snyder pops out again randomly just to fuck with Buffy for no fucking reason and kicks her out of school. But we have this major moment where he calls the mayor's assistant and basically says something like a plan's going, it's going according to plan, or
Absolutely, man. What I've been saying all along. Snyder's in the cut.
Yeah,
he
and
works for the mayor, man.
maybe I just didn't remember that, but we've had arguments about whether or not
Snyder's evil. He's evil.
He's but all right, so I'll still argue this. Is he evil, or is he a suck up for the sake of his shitty job as a principal?
Like Dracula's goon,
Yeah.
kind of like somebody's bitch,
He looks like one,
Yeah, he's a troll. But that doesn't mean he's not evil, right? Like, it's kind of like the second in command. It's kind of a slithery, essentially like Igor, right?
Yeah.
So he's still technically evil, right?
Yeah.
The bad guy's henchman's evil.
Like misguided evil.
Misguided evil, but still evil.
You know who he reminds me of? What's that guy? Sean Spice. What is it?
Sean Spicer?
Spicer?
He
Spicer?
reminds me of him. Doesn't he kind of look like him? He kind of.
Yeah,
He's
I
like-
feel that fucking like hit home right now. Like I think he's Sean Spicer.
Yeah, that's who his role also. Like he's
They're
Trump's like.
so alike. That's fucking amazing. Never thought about that. So, Jen, what do you think about Snyder?
I think you can go both ways with him, like, because Buffy makes a comment, like, you were definitely one of those guys that never got a date in high school, and he's bitter, and maybe Buffy looks like someone who totally ripped his heart out in high school or made fun of him. Then again, also, like, Eddie could be right, too. He could totally be in cahoots with the mayor, and the mayor's an evil demon D-bag or...
So that's what's also kind of fucked up too, Buffy making that comment, and I felt it was a little out of place because we all know that Snyder is fucked up. He is not a good person. So why do you have to make that comment? Why does she have to make that comment
I feel
to
like
him?
she had already gone through a lot. Like she has to go kill her boyfriend. She got kicked out of her house in a fight with her mom. Like this guy's talking shit to her. She's like, you know what? Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, I think I've seen you go off for less than this.
Yeah.
I have as well.
Me too.
Like, you have a bad day and the wrong person gets in front of you, you're going to yell at him. You're going to say some mean shit.
Yes, but nobody that I know of is writing my life. So, like, I wonder, like, that's more, like, I can see that as, like, Buffy's had such a bad day that she's going to blow off a little steam, particularly if she's getting kicked out of school.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can totally see that. Maybe, like, I mean, I understand, like, you wanting to analyze the validity of the line and what that means with Snyder's character. But I also see it as she's a moody teenager and, you know, she had a bad day and she just wants to, like, hit people where it hurts because she's not having a good day. And she's just going to be like, well, everybody knows you're a loser and I'm going to tell you why you're a loser.
I don't know. It just felt kind of weird to me. So after that, we see a scene in the mansion where basically Drew is tricking Giles into seeing Jenny Calendar so that Angel can get what he wants and find out how to bring about the end of the world or sucking the entire world into hell.
Which is also kind of a way of Spike saving his life in a way, right? Or maybe not saving his life, but maybe a couple more fingers. like Angel's about to fuck him up worse. And then Spike goes, Drusilla, and come have fun.
Yeah, go
basically.
make out with Giles for a bit.
Go make out with Giles for a bit.
Go be the big hoe that Buffy says you are.
Yeah.
Oh, which is weird. I just thought of that. Does that send a weird message that earlier on Buffy is calling her a hoe, and then we see her just going to town on Giles for...
Well, yes and no, but at the same time,
funsies?
she's not for funsies, I don't think. It's
She was
definitely
having fun towards the end.
She was having fun towards the end, but I think that was like Drusilla being Drusilla, being the weird kind of spacey evil that she is. Kind of, ended up being there. You know what I mean?
I feel fucking bad for Giles though. That's like,
Ugh.
Angel wanted to torture him. The best way he could have done that was with what
He did.
Spike suggested. No, Drusilla.
Oh, yeah.
That was worse than any sort of physical torture for him. The person that you care about coming back and seeing and believing they're there, and then all of a sudden they're not and you were tricked. That's fucking terrible. I would feel like, break more fingers, dude. That's fingers heal.
But hearts don't.
What did he say? Angel's like, give me what I need to get the sword. He's like, you need something in a tutu. He's like, you need.
Oh yeah. It's like, you need to do it wearing a tutu.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was great.
Yeah.
Came off as a tough bastard right there.
Mm-hmm.
Tough motherfucker.
Tough SOB.
So eventually he cracks because of the whole Jenny Calendar thing, reveals that it's Angel's blood that needs to bring about a Kathla.
Angel keeps wearing his pants. He's got those sweet pants, so
He's getting more
he's like,
distressed.
"What? My blood?" And he
Look
jumps
at my
up.
silk shirt.
Check out my silk shirt. He's like, Spike, what's up? And Spike's like, hey, Drusilla, you're still making out with Giles.
Yeah.
You hoe.
And after that, Xander randomly pops out of the forest while Buffy is
Buffy's
walking.
walking with a sword in a blanket. Just like...
In broad daylight.
Okay,
but
so-
it's okay because she's wearing a fucking beanie. But he falls off a mountainside, it looks like. It's not even out of the forest. It's a straight up hill.
It's an awkward scene, and I don't know how else they would have... I guess they could have done so much better, but she's going to fight Angel, and he pops out, and he's really only there to not tell Buffy that Willow's doing the spell.
Well, he's supposed to tell her that he's doing the spell.
He's supposed to.
He goes there, and I think he contemplates doing it and then decides not to.
Why do you think he does that?
Because he fucking hates Angel.
I kind of feel like maybe it is that he hates Angel, but also they talked about Willow not doing the spell because she's so weak right now, and they don't want her to get hurt. So maybe Xander didn't want Buffy to worry about Willow expending all her energy and then possibly dying or whatever because she was doing the spell.
I think that's a good point. I hadn't considered that he was actually concerned with Willow and not just fuck Angel, I don't care.
Yeah, but Willow would have done the spell regardless, right?
But I think Jen's point, he didn't want her to go through any more trauma than she'd already been through.
No, that makes sense.
So Buffy finally shows up at the mansion, starts fucking shit up. Spike reveals that he can actually walk and not roll around in a wheelchair. Xander saves Giles, and Spike chokes out Drusilla to save her.
Well, first he gets up and grabs a crowbar and beats the shit out of Angel.
I like how, we're going back to Drusilla and Spike, when he's like, I don't want to hurt you. And then he punches her and he's like, doesn't mean I won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like the ladies in this episode were being very cordial toward the men, and the men were just like, I'm just gonna savagely beat you because we're fighting and there's no rules. And they're like, but we're gonna be nice. But the men are like, no, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
The men are aggressive monkeys.
Huh? That's about right. Better than the Go Fish episode.
Yeah.
Go fresh.
So, yeah, Go Fresh episode. So, yeah, did you want to say anything about how it is possible to choke out a vampire?
Oh,
Yeah, you can't.
That's it. You
That's
can't.
it. You can't.
You can't.
So, essentially, well, I would make the argument that when you choke somebody out, you're actually cutting off a main artery
Blood flow?
blood flow that goes to her brain.
Nobody watching this, and not even us at the time, realized that's what was happening. It's not airflow, it's blood flow.
Do
you guys
so
look that
there's
up?
that. No.
You guys just know.
We watch a lot of mixed martial arts.
We're nerdy on a whole other level.
Nerdier than this.
So
So many layers of
The whole thing
nerd.
is-
You don't even know.
essentially, and that's why it can happen so quickly, because if not, when you choke somebody out, you could essentially, it could take up to a minute, right? Because you can just hold their breath. So you actually cut off the blood. So that could be the reason why. At the same time,
How
it
much
doesn't
blood flow
feel like
do
it. Yeah, like it doesn't feel like
vampires
that's
have?
something a vampire would do, right? And remember, like when it happens to Angel later, and he's like, you know, not doing right now, breathing.
In his show, because they learned.
Yeah, because they learned. But even then, in this world, it is because they stopped breathing that they get choked out, right?
So after that, Spike takes Drusilla, and I think it's his Cadillac or whatever he's driving that's spray painted the windows. Jets leaves Sunnydale. Buffy and Angel are sword fighting, and they get to the point where Willow's spell works.
Well, you missed the point where he pulled out the sword and commenced the beginning of the sucking of Earth into hell.
Yeah, starts the whole process.
He figures out what Giles meant by saying, like, Angel is the key. So Drusilla, when she was actually hypnotizing him points
said
out the
it's
fact
his
that
blood.
he's the key. His blood's the key. So he's actually the one that needs to, I guess, bleed on the sword for him to pull it out. Cuts himself, and Buffy walks in. Buffy starts fighting with everybody. He gets, I guess, like kind of beaten up for a while. And while she's fighting a different vampire, he pulls out the sword,
yes.
starting the end of the world.
I
And-
liked
yeah.
when they were fighting. You know, it was pretty intense. I don't actually know. Is that the first sword fight that happens in Buffy?
I think it
The
might
only
be.
one. It was weird. I was like, this is
I don't
Kinda
remember
weird.
I don't
another
remember
sword
other,
fight.
other
Yeah.
sword
That's
fight
kinda
so
weird.
far.
Buffy doesn't fight with swords.
yeah. But when Spike Kids punched out or choked Drusilla, and then he's walking past them fighting, and she's like it looks like she's about to like die, and Spike's like, oh, she looks like she's like gonna die, too bad, and just walks away. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I like Spike, but then that was pretty mean.
Yeah.
He could have saved her.
Yeah.
He could have, but I think it's always like Spike and Buffy's dynamic, like for Spike to act like he doesn't care, but he really cares a lot about Buffy.
I think at this point, though, he does not
I think,
care.
Yeah,
At
I think
this
it's not
point,
until
no,
after he
'cause-
loses Drusilla
Yeah,
that he starts
it's too
to...
early, like, you know, in the series for you to grasp that aspect, but like I think kind of at this point, like with the whole like, you know, first date conversation with Buffy's mom, and like, you know, like him showing up to help Buffy, even like he's always been in Buffy's corner, and I just feel like, you know, he's trying to establish himself as like a prominent male figure in Buffy's life.
Later, but clearly later.
Yeah.
Here it's just like, fuck that. I'm gonna bounce. So the world's being sucked into hell, and Buffy's sword fighting Angel. That's when the spell works, and he has his soul again, and he doesn't remember anything, which I think is funny. He kind of comes to in tears, like basically on his
Yeah.
knees in tears.
Just like glowy eyes, looks down, comes up, looks like he just watched Dancer in the Dark or something.
Which is funny because if you think about it, the last time Angel was there, not Angelus, he had his soul, he had just had sex. So right after that, he's back now. Like, and he's in tears.
Maybe he was still coming. You know.
Like, that's with tears. Like, what?
Yeah, which brings
Morrison
me
did
to
that.
the question, why does Buffy love him? Because I'd just be like, no, like, let's not do this again.
That is kind of crazy. The last thing I remember is like feeling really good.
See, and they don't mention that. It's I was curious. I was like, are they gonna say where he was? Or
Is that
what
why he
happened?
comes back with that O face where he's like,
Imagine.
Nobody can see that except everybody here. Eddie did the face. He did it on face. Yeah. No, that's fucking super weird, and they didn't want to address that other than the fact that, like, I don't remember what happened. It's like, well, you came,
We remember,
went evil, killed a whole bunch of people.
Where'd I get these pants?
Yeah, that's probably the best question.
He's all like, man, these pants are fly. It's like, oh, he still has horrible tasting clothes.
I think Angel has slightly better taste in clothes than Angelus.
I think it's just like tamed. It's like,
Yeah, it's like Angel wears corduroy pants and Angelus wears like distressed leather pants.
yeah,
It's
all
Angela
bad.
Lewis light.
so is it the demon that likes the shitty clothing, and Angel's soul makes him like less shitty clothing, or
It's like Angel doesn't go to Gadzooks, but the demon Angel does.
are there still Gadzooks?
At that point, there were.
Okay, true.
I don't even know what that is.
It's the precursor to Hot Topic. It's our
It's
generation.
because we're old.
Yeah.
It's like Hot Topic and Spencer's put
Oh,
together.
God.
Yeah.
It sounds exactly what that name would
Way more
be.
color. Way
Gadzooks.
more color in there. Lots of like smiley faces.
That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. No.
No,
It wasn't.
It was awful. It was awful. You can get your ears pierced there though.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I got mine done at Claire's though.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can still do that at Claire's.
I did too.
So massive moment here. Angel has his soul. He's crying, and Buffy tells him to close his eyes because she realizes that he has his soul
Before
back.
she asked him to close his eyes, she didn't just go like, "Oh, you're back. Close your eyes." She like realizes it, embraces
well, that was
him,
the part of my
starts
explanation.
Making,
Like-
starts like making out with him, like gives like some real me and you time. It's like Netflix and chills real quick.
Ew.
And then she stabs him through the heart with the sword, or more or less through the heart, to save the world.
And his
close
face is
the
just like,
gateway to hell.
"What the fuck?"
Damn, bitch.
He's like, what's going on? Why is everything glowing?
I also like how he's like frozen in a really like stiff position. It's not manly and it's not like, you know, devastating. It's just like, ooh, like I look dumb.
Yeah. It's a super emotional scene, and then you start laughing, which I think was kind of funny. But it made me think about like that whole scene in general. And David Boreanaz is not the type of person, is not the actor who can pull it off.
He's not carrying the scene.
But
it's definitely Sarah
Michelle Gellar is the
carrying,
reason
like,
we
the
all
scene.
care, and we feel bad for her, and we feel sad because of what she had to do. She had to kill somebody to save the world that she knew was the actual person. Like, it was his soul. It was Angel. It wasn't some demon. It was the person she had loved the most. Killed him to save the world, which is super fucking epic.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
almost cried. Honestly, I really did. I was like, shit.
Yeah, after I joked and everything, I was like, this is actually getting to me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm not going to do this in front of my friends.
It was emotional for sure, but then I like kind of like the girl in me, like I was like, if I was friends with Buffy, I'd be like, dude, you can do way better than that. Like,
Yeah.
he's a douche. Look at him. Like,
Look at his hair.
yeah, his hair, his clothes. He cries all the time.
Fuck
like,
DJ
what
Angel.
Does he do for you?
He's
DJ
a monarch DJ.
DJ Angelus.
I don't know if you Jen, you might be the person that's hated on Angel the most that we've had on the podcast. And most people hate on Angel.
Hey, I want my due respect here. I hate on him quite a bit.
You do, but it's over time. It's not concentrated hate.
Yeah, this is
some
hot
concentrated
fire.
This is a pretty good episode to hate
hate
on
on?
Angel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's evil. Like, you are.
See, but the
like,
funny thing is,
kind.
you don't hate on him when he's evil, and most of us don't. We hate on him when
I
he has
will
a
say
soul.
that when upon first viewing, the want for him to turn good again was way more present in me, and now I just don't like. I want him to stay evil, so that changes my.
He's
viewing.
a better character.
That changes my viewing of the end of this, because when I first watched this, it was soup Samosh, and I really wanted him to come back, and it felt so epic because number one, you only watch one episode a week, and you only see it that time, and there's no anything. You know, if you recorded it on a VHS, okay. Other than that, you couldn't watch it again. So it was like super awesome, and I was just like, everybody be quiet. And this time it's a lot more comical, and it feels less dire, especially knowing that he's going to come back and whatnot.
Yeah, especially knowing what happens. But going into it, you have no fucking idea that he is, I mean, spoiler,
Yeah.
he's going to come back.
And it's really, really well done.
Yeah. I remember the first time I watched this episode, because I barely started watching it like 2 years ago. I was like, fuck, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It's
You're
really
like,
sad.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I wanted him to stay evil for a longer period of time so I could see how his outfits evolve because they're amazing.
So if he was even more evil, the outfits would have been worse.
Yeah, like he could have thrown in like, you know, some pocket squares and like a fedora.
It's up for debate. I'm starting to get on the same page. Like maybe that's just Angel. That's not Angelus. That's Angel.
Yeah. Turtlenecks. That was the next thing.
So have you seen this episode before?
Jen?
This episode I have not seen. I haven't watched a lot of season 2. I've seen a lot of season 4, a lot of season 6. So I'm like more in tune with like the storyline on those seasons. This though, the characters are like evolving into the characters that they're going to be later on, so you can like totally see that. And definitely like Oz was a favorite character of mine, Werewolf Oz.
It's weird because I'm not into him.
Me neither.
At
I
least
like Seth Green.
Jeff hates Oz.
this season he sucks. What does he do?
Paint his nails.
Except for turning into a werewolf with phases, that was cool. Other than that,
I realized that Oz is better at painting his nails than I am.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah.
I like Oz.
I don't really like them at all.
All
I
right,
think
so
it's
we're
'cause
split.
I like
Split
Seth
two,
Green.
we're split 2 and 2.
Yeah.
That's why they kept him.
Yeah.
He's an odds maker.
I mean, he's likable. I don't think he does much for the show.
I
He's a nice guy for Willow to be involved with.
can still like him even if he doesn't do more for the show.
Want to round out the rest of the episode?
So after Angel comes back, and you obviously know he has a soul again, and Buffy makes out with him and stabs him in the chest, you assume he's gone, goes to hell, and nobody knows what really happened, right? The only person that actually saw what happened is Buffy,
Yeah.
right? And she disappears. She goes into hiding. Everybody shows up at schools the next day, and they're just like, where the fuck is Buffy? And she's right across the street staring at them.
They're just assuming possible scenarios of
they're
what
like,
could have
okay,
happened.
well, either she killed him and saved the world, or we saved him and they're off making out somewhere, or whatever happened. Either way, the world's not over, so she was able to save us. However, we don't know where she is. Lo and behold, she literally is across the street
Just watching them.
wearing a black hoodie, because that's morning Slayer clothes.
Then the end scene, she gets on a
bus.
and we see that scene where it's now leaving Sunnydale. So she's gone.
Please come back soon.
Yeah, that was a good ending.
Yeah. It seemed appropriate, and it's a good kind of cliffhanger. It was good. I liked it. I think that it also allows everything to just kind of reset, right? In other seasons, you kind of finish one thing and just leads right into the next thing, or there's no kind of period of rest. And it seems like this is a definite break. Like the pinnacle of season 2 and Angel dying needs kind of a runoff. And I think that was an appropriate thing to do.
Yeah, well,
have her get out of
it
here.
felt like a great ending. They ended. They cleared up so much.
It could have also it could have easily been an ending to the series, I think.
Yeah.
That's
And it would have been fine. Not amazing, but neither was season.
Well, there were so many like
7.
open to interpretation like paths for characters the way that they left it off.
So, any final thoughts before we do the deaths?
It was definitely a solid episode. I don't know if I like the combination of part 1 and part 2 as the best episode. I kind of feel like part 2 is the best episode, and part 1 was just kind of a lead-in.
It feels like two different episodes.
Yeah, and it's a complete continuation of one entire episode. However, part 2 is where the meat of the episode really lies, in my opinion.
And if it's a continuation, like, why would you do it differently? Why? I still have an issue with that, the whole, like, narration at the beginning. If you're going to do that in the first part, why not do that in the second part?
It really threw off the part 1, part 2 aspect of the series, and
it's just 2 different episodes.
It was so weird. The whole Whistler character, I liked the character, but it was so poorly done. It almost felt like he didn't belong in the episode. Would you agree with that?
No, yeah, I totally agree. His lines were kind of like, whatever.
It felt forced.
You don't need to be here, yeah.
It felt like other people could have said those things.
Yeah. Or not be said at all, really.
Yeah.
You know?
They were cryptic, or they were explaining stuff to Buffy. Like, stuff the audience already knows. Like, we would see scenes with Angel where they were talking about Kathla and everything going on. And then it's like, oh, shit, Buffy needs to know about this. Who can explain what's going to happen?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll make Whistler do it.
Because
Yeah.
Giles isn't there.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
that's true.
Yeah. And also, outside perspective gives kind of maybe a background to Angel that makes it more seem like he really cared about Buffy. It gives backstory.
That's true.
Some good stuff there. I think the whole end thing is basically a spin-off for an Angel show.
I would have been better off if Whistler would just have been in the first part and not the second. Like, totally unnecessary in this part.
I think it would have been cool if Angel killed Whistler.
Actually, that would
Like
have been...
if he had
yeah.
come back, like he came back to talk to Buffy, right? But it would have been really cool if Angel had found him and been like, hey, and killed him.
That would have been a lot better, and that would have made his disappearance a lot better, because he doesn't
Yeah.
show up in Buffy anymore.
Oh,
does
really?
he?
No, he never shows
Shit,
up again.
That's weird.
Like he comes back and he's just like, well, I mean, the exact same character is made again for Angel.
Yeah.
Doyle is, when Whistler describes himself in part 1, he says, I'm half demon, but I'm a good guy working for the powers that be and setting you on the right path. That's like all Doyle. He's
Yeah.
also wearing a shitty hat and a shitty coat. So it's like they just were like, the Whistler thing didn't work out, but we like the idea. Let's do it again, but this time do it right.
Right. So when does Angel start in...
Season 4.
Oh, okay.
So end of season 3, Angel takes off. Beginning of season 4, Angel and Buffy start together.
Okay.
And then Angel goes 5 seasons, 1 season past Buffy.
I still don't like... I haven't given that a chance.
No?
No.
It's completely opposite
For
thing. of
Angel?
Buffy.
Yeah.
Angel's amazing. Like, once you start getting into it, I really
I liked it
enjoyed
too.
the storyline.
The whole thing is that Buffy, the stories in Buffy are like a comedy. It's
Yeah.
all going to be okay. In Angel, it's all going to be bad.
I guess that's true. Remember, I think I was telling you guys last time... Oh, shit, sorry. that, I was just too, like, at a bad point in my life when I started watching. I was like, fuck. Like, he doesn't save the girl. Like, fuck. It's
Yeah.
fucking sad.
And it's episode after episode of that.
Yeah.
And it gets really good depending on my mood. I like one series better than the other.
Yeah.
I like them both. I consider them the same, to be honest.
But I'm sure, like, sometimes you're in the mood to watch Buffy and sometimes you're in the mood to watch Angel, right? Or are you like... Because I feel like...
Well, I feel like I can get the same things out of both series. Like, if I want a funny episode, I can either watch the Angel episode with the wrestler or the puppets, or I can watch the Buffy episode with the shark and the kittens.
See, mine's very mood-based and what I want out of the show. If I want something, like, funnier and, like, maybe, like, a little horror campy-esque, I go Buffy. If I want something that feels more action-y and a little more dark, I will watch Angel.
See, I feel like you can get that out of Buffy too, though. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's all one big pool for me. It's one big pizza with different toppings on it.
So deaths? Unless somebody wants to say anything
How
else.
many people died?
3 people.
People?
Yes, vampires.
Oh, vampires.
3 vampires.
That's not a lot.
Oh, it was only vampires
No. Yeah.
that died in this episode?
Buffy killed them all. She killed all 3.
Do we
Not including Angel, though.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, it's weird because if you were just watching, I guess this is up for debate. If you were just watching the episode, you're not going to watch any more. This is where you're at. You would assume that Buffy killed Angel and there'd be 4 deaths. He would be the 4th vampire.
Well, I would assume that would be counted. Because she does kill him.
She sends him to hell.
She does send him to hell, but she doesn't actually kill him.
He's not dead.
She doesn't kill him.
He hasn't been killed.
So that's weird. Like, I don't know.
Technically, you're right?
You're all
you
opinions.
you have to stab him in the heart with a stake or cut off his head to kill him.
Yeah, he doesn't die. He's just sent to hell. She kills 3 other vampires, but not him. What do you all think?
I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah, like if you come back, then you haven't been killed. Like, I mean, I think that's a rule, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with like being a vampire. Like, you're the undead. You're not killed.
Well, no, we count that too. If you're,
you count. Wait.
So here's the thing.
But turning into a vampire.
Yeah, if you're a human, you die. That's a death. You come back as a vampire. You're a different being, I guess you'd say that. If that vampire dies, then that's another death.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like 2 for 1?
Technically,
Kind of, but it's more like you're no longer the same person you used to be.
First, when you die, the human dies. Second time you die, the demon dies. So we're counting demon deaths and human deaths.
Isn't that like being a teenager and then being an adult?
No.
Did you die twice?
Feels like it. Yeah.
Okay.
When you turn 21, you lost your soul.
And there
To
you go.
Jägermeister.
Oh my God, we really did.
So 3 deaths. What's
3
up
deaths.
next?
Season 3, man.
Yeah, well,
I mean, first we're gonna do an overview.
yeah, I think that's basically what we're gonna do.
But
next.
I'm looking
Talk about a
forward. I'm
bunch of
looking
shit.
forward to seeing Anne. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the Hell episode. Finding out what some tattoos do.
Yeah.
Finding out that stupid blonde girl from the vampire episode
Exactly.
is
Hey, so
coming back.
you brought up. We'll probably do the next thing our season 2 recap.
Mm-hmm.
Anything particular you want to talk about in that recap, or just fucking kind of go through the?
Probably going to go through a lot of Angel's wardrobe. Definitely bringing up Xander's body again. Oh no! What do you
Worst
think?
episode ever. The Killed by
Worst
Death.
episode ever.
Which one was that?
Killed by Death is the one that it's Buffy gets sick, goes to the hospital, and Freddy Krueger's killing kids.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's like it's the
Freddy
exact
Krueger.
same thing as the other episode, Nightmares in season 1, but it's like another one where she
Yeah.
gets sick. It has nothing to do with anything.
I remember that.
Oh, such a bad episode.
It's bad.
The little penises come out of the guy's eyes.
I do want to talk about some of the actors that we brought up over this season and what they have done.
Yeah.
Because there's always like bit part actors, and we're like, oh, we should look up what that guy's done.
Yeah.
I started to look up what these people have done.
And they've done a lot.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
awesome.
That
Like,
one guy
bigger
in
roles?
that one guy in Killed by Death that I was like, he looks familiar. He's done more than any other
He
bit
won
actor
an
part.
Oscar.
No. Oh, okay.
I was like, what?
I haven't checked, but dude,
There's
he's
remember the
done
episode
massive
where
stuff.
they're doing the Sadie Hawkins dance and the ghost comes back to kill like his lover over and over, and Angel and Buffy reenact it.
Oh, I think so.
That guy was in Deadwood, like one of the guys that reenacts it. I
Yeah.
love Deadwood. It's good.
I've never seen it.
You need to watch Deadwood.
Good
Okay.
show. So I think this is the last time. So do you wanna say it?
Do you want to get under the covers? Just stay warm.
Only if you don't send me to hell. And he is explaining stuff in a very cryptic sense. Are you okay, Eddie?
I just thought, like, what if Whistler is just like hanging out at Giles' apartment and just like, never mind.
I want to hear it now. It was funny.
It's like furiously masturbating. And, like Buffy shows up and he's just like, "Oh, go away, go away!"
Like he's on his couch with this pants down.
like something horrible like that. Sorry.
Okay.
See, that's why I didn't want to say this. I just thought that would be funny. I'm really happy I'm editing this.
So yeah, that didn't happen.